We're going to be doing a lot of stuff today, folks. Hope you all are excited. Going to be looking at some unusual options flows from my scanner app. We're going to be looking at whatever Jeffrey wants to talk about, of course, and or Jack as well, and also looking at some premium plays, breaking those down. So yeah, get excited. Um, you know, Nothing really on the news front today.
But why are we down? What's going on?
I guess finally no news is bad news. Well, bad news is good news. Good news is good news. No news is bad news. So we need some bad news so we can go to all-time highs again.
Just a little bit of buyer fatigue. Everything's fine.
It's turnaround Tuesday, classic. Big move on Monday. We usually do the opposite on Tuesday. Happens all the time. So I was just being tongue-in-cheek facetious when I said, "Oh my gosh, what's going on?"
I get
Got to
you.
go down. Got to take a rest.
Yeah, I mean, after that big, we did basically fill the gap yesterday, right? Almost completely. Yeah, basically completely. From that big old sell-off on Friday. So, yeah, I mean, not really. So it's interesting because we're not really. I mean, we're moving back into bearish or not into bullish trend territory. Now we'll see what happens, right? We're kind of on the peak, right? But I mean, the 9 is still over the 20. We're still over the 50. Man, if we do have a pullback to the 50, that's feels like, if you look at where the 50 is right now, it's not too far away from the peak before the March April sell-off, so 61.41 or so. So I mean, you will see what happens over um the next 2 weeks. It is a weird like OPEX, like starting the options expiration this month. Not always, but you do tend to drift higher in the first couple weeks. So, um, I personally, and I'd love to see what you guys think. I don't think anything's going to happen prior to maybe the 15th of August. And it's actually the 15th of August is actually, I believe, last summer is when things kind of had that little sell off as well. So, and for those who don't know, basically the OPEX cycles every month, right? The options expiration, institutional money, the pension funds, they all flow into the markets. So it's sort of not always, but it tends to be a buoy in the early part of that monthly cycle, and then as those kind of peter out, that's when you can see some more volatility, a little more selling pressure, maybe. Any thoughts on that, Jeffrey?
Well, I mean,
Jack?
we got that combined with the stock buyback blackout window ending for most of the S&P 500 companies as we come out of the blackout window, earnings. Generally, companies have a 2 to 3 week window. They set it themselves. It's not a regulatory thing where executives, people in the know about the financials of the company and the company itself can't do stock buybacks or any kind of transactions in this blackout window. Once they report earnings, it's all freed up and ready to go. So that also with, however many billions of dollars this quarter set to, flow into the market. I think it's somewhere around 25 to $30 billion set to flow in this quarter. That'll be all freed up here in the next, say 2 weeks.
Yep. And one of those is
As that retirement money peters out, we also have the buyback window opening up. So
yeah. Just to
If
tailwind.
you take a look at Microsoft for a second, and this just shows you that buyers, they're not as hot, they're not as aggressive, right? There's not that many buyers. This thing's pulled back from 555, almost 560. The appetite for all this stuff at all-time highs. This is a 5-year high or more. It's not there. And so we're going to see a little choppy sideways action until there's a real heated up reason to get back in the game. But this is kind of like a market indicator right here. It's just enough, they don't have the appetite for it at crazy levels. I
but
wouldn't
it
want to.
also in the face of that big pullback last week, 200 points in the S&P, that didn't really move that much. It just kind of hung out at the top.
Yeah.
So that's strength. You don't bet against strength.
No.
No, I
Trend
mean
great.
Microsoft's. I mean these tech companies just even Apple, right? So talking about those buybacks, we can come back to Microsoft too, because I mean they're going to be just a titan. I don't see them going away anytime soon. They're so ingrained in everything right now. But like for instance, Apple looks bad, right? But they're also doing a historic buyback program this year, I believe, as well. So is that, and they just had earnings last week. So as that starts to kick into effect, I mean,
You know,
um,
they got to drop that aggressive buyback and increase the dividend. It's
mhm.
many times I see companies that don't want to increase the dividend and would rather allocate that money to a buyback. And it's buybacks are increasing more than dividends are increasing. And that's not something that, as a dividend guy, that's not something I like. And Apple sitting on all that cash, that's driving the shareholders, it's driving them crazy,
Well, they're
right?
just not doing anything with it. It's like, bro,
Well,
like,
I know what you could do with it. Increase the dividend.
yeah,
Reward the
or
shareholder
buy
for
something
lack of
that
performance.
buy something that helps the company innovate.
Well, buybacks give you a bigger equity position. When they're buying back stock, the stock you have represents, your equity and it grows. But at some point, Apple, I mean, they just keep making mediocre moves. They got to do something and
Yeah.
reward shareholders for this pathetic performance and maybe get rid of the jockey uh,
Yeah.
and increase the buyback. That would get a whole new flood of. But these guys are making Apple boring, right? They're not making it exciting. They're not giving anybody a reason to buy it other than it's Apple, and that's no longer a good enough reason.
No, there's more exciting things happening. I mean,
Got to do
compared to
something.
iPhones, man.
Got to do something. You can't sit on all that money and watch it rot. It's not doing them any good. I mean, even if they increase the dividend by twice the amount, that still wouldn't be a big dividend. But you got to do, if you're going to do the buyback, you still got to pay or increase the dividend.
I
That's
actually don't
what would
know
make people happy.
what's Apple's
The
dividend
shareholders
compared
are
to
happy with
Microsoft.
this. They could buy all the stock back they want. It hasn't done anything.
What's Apple's dividend compared to Microsoft?
Nothing compared to nothing.
They don't pay a pittance hardly compared to their share price.
So, I
I don't
mean,
even know if it's a tenth of a percent, you know.
wow. So I mean, that's like you think about Microsoft. I mean, look at the difference. Like, obviously, like dividend growth doesn't necessarily limit share price growth. Look at Apple, nothing burger. And then you go to Microsoft, woo, that thing's straight up and paying a bigger dividend. So
Yeah, so Apple's dividend 0.5%, Microsoft 0.62%. So
Not
nothing versus nothing.
nothing versus nothing. And yeah, that's crazy. When Google announced their dividend, that was huge news. The news was huge, but the dividend wasn't huge.
yeah.
It's funny. I don't even know why you'd want to bother paying 0.6%. Just have
Yeah.
a dividend that's real or don't have one, right?
Yeah, there's much better plays out there, I would think, for dividends. I mean,
Totally.
I like Philip Morris. I don't. They're part of the like I know they didn't do great. They didn't do too hot after earnings, but they are. This is I'm not. I could. Hey Jeff, would you mind double? What's their dividend payout? Because I'm pretty sure it's a pretty solid one. But
For Philip Morris, hold on
yeah,
one second.
they're so Philip Morris folks like tobacco company. So the thing is
Yeah,
there's
their yield's 6.59%. So
look at
that,
that. That's incredible. Yeah, that's much better than well, I mean it's what it's
Not if the
middle
stock falls 10%.
no, but I don't, I would have to dig into this. Like they missed by the revenue. They are leading the you guys heard of the Zen? I know you probably have, Jeffrey. You heard of Zen, Jack?
Yes.
And it's like the smokeless tobacco pouches. They're leading that. Um, I, I feel like, who knows? Like, but I do feel that there's no, I mean, Altria, like all the big tobacco companies, they're the only ones that are doing the smokeless products. So, I'm, long-term bullish on Philip Morris. I wouldn't want to I'm gonna probably wait. I would like to wait until we get down to 150 to take a position maybe before this, but not even down into the initial bump up, just a little of this like support zone right here, just a little bit above it even. But
Take a look at the mighty Mo compared to this.
yeah,
Can you compare stocks on there, one side by
I
side?
can, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I actually don't like do this much, but it kind of sucks.
Yeah, right click on the where it says percentage and change it to
Log.
regular. There you go. It goes from a percent basis to a, you can either compare them on percent or you compare them on price. You see a big
Yeah.
moves up on
MO
the
is
comparison
like
there.
one. Yeah. Or I
You can
guess,
put them, you can put them back on a percent basis and see how they're, moving percent wise. And you can see that outperformance on that quite a bit.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know what Altria, I don't know what they have. Like what's, what, I don't know. I guess, I mean, tobacco is declining. Altria,
They're into wine, and they're not giving up on smokeless tobacco. They're never giving up on it. These guys understand the addiction, right?
well, yeah, they don't have, but like, Philip Morris has the Zen. I don't know what Altria owns. Maybe one of the other brands. They might own it on or something. There's like 7 brands or something.
There's so much stuff out there.
Yeah.
I was in a gas station here the other day. The whole back counter is full of just stuff I've never even heard of or seen before. It's all tobacco.
Yeah.
It's a thing. A lot of these young guys are still into it. And Skoal and Copenhagen, those are probably two of the hardest drugs to get off of. Probably harder to get off of that than Coke.
Yeah.
Really, really tough Skoal. You talk to any of those guys that kicked it,
Yeah.
it's
I,
tough.
I try not to ever buy any. I have a rule like I don't consume anything that you can buy at a gas station. I try not to. I feel like that's a pretty good rule to live by. I have done I have used Zens, but I try to stay away.
Don't dip. That's my advice.
I haven't any
It
interest
for
in
years.
spending,
It was the hardest thing I ever got off of in my life.
really.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that they have that Swedish snus, which is what the Zins are based off of, which is this little. They're like dip, but in a little pouch. They're actually tobacco.
Europe is still smoking its head off. I was
I
in
know.
Rome last fall. I just cannot believe the smoking over there.
It's crazy,
It
and they
is
have less
really
lung cancer than we
like
do.
one after another. And nobody says anything. Like in the States, you'd get a dirty look if you were smoking at a
Yeah,
cafe outside on the sidewalk. These
yeah.
dudes puffing, chain smoking, arguing. It was great.
Drinking their little espressos.
I had one of those things, man. It kept me up for 3 days.
Nice, man. I'll tell you, yeah, is something to be said about Euromaxing. Smoking a cigarette, drinking an espresso, just
All day though, man. There's a lot of unemployed people over there. They're just
yeah,
sitting out there smoking their heads off.
yeah, they don't have anything to do. They're not a real economy. I guess that's the downside.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so anyways, that's just about a little dividend diversion there. But like I don't think so. Basically, I just want to sum up what I was thinking about Apple because we do. That's right, Rose. Zen is only nicotine; it's not tobacco. It's just nicotine salts. So Apple long term probably going to go up just purely based on the amount of cash they have and the amount they're going to spend to make sure their stock goes up. Uh, Innovation wise, it's in the toilet. I do think that we're probably going to sell off now that we have these crossovers happening. I could see us hitting it back down at the support zone about a 195
Yeah.
in the next week or two.
This is dead money, folks. This is the definition of dead money. There's opportunity cost. If you bought this, you'd be sitting on nothing. Way better opportunities out there.
And
How
some
about that? Hey, how about that spread I threw out last week though?
Yeah.
It's up like 60% right now.
I don't know. Let's
No.
tell the folks what that was again.
Yeah, so we were, for those that weren't here, I threw out a December spread, and you could pick it up like a 180 long call or long put, excuse me, 180 long put, and sell out like a 150 or 145 short put, and or maybe I had a few different ones. I had a 175, 145, I had a 180, 150, and if Apple drops between now and December, it has like a 14x. Well, it had a 14x. Now it's a little bit less because it's up 60%. So
Yeah,
it's just a hedge on the market. Do you put like a lot of money in this? No, I'm not putting thousands of dollars in it. I'm buying a couple, and with a 14x potential return, you buy one or two to protect several $1,000s of a portfolio. This is not like, holy cow, I'm going to make a bajillion dollars. No, this is like the market's falling off crap. My portfolio is down. This is a single bright spot that would recover a little bit of money for you. And, that's the way a hedge works. It's not like FOMO. It's not like YOLO, putting all my money in it. No, this is like insurance. You don't buy
Mhm.
house insurance expecting your house to burn down and you're going to collect money. Like you don't buy
Yeah, some
insurance on
people
your
do.
car expecting it to wreck. It's just in case things go bad. So that's what this is. It's an
Yeah.
insurance play. So far, it's up 60%. I'm keeping it on, looking for the bigger, 1,300% potential upside. So
Insurance plays are where it's at right now. The higher the market goes, the more you want to think about insuring the stuff you have, like with a married put, any kind of thing. But let's take a quick look at that earnings calendar if we could.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yep. So we had some big ones today. Pfizer, Caterpillar.
ANET,
I'm actually,
my little baby.
did we have ANET today? Let's look at that. I'm actually curious to see how Lemonade did too.
Lemonade's been a terrible deal. I'm surprised. I'm honestly surprised that the shareholders didn't sue all the underwriters and everybody in Lemonade. Really.
Well, this is the whole thing that you never have to talk to anybody, and it's just AI like doing the underwriting. So it's like, what could go wrong?
Yeah, no, I've been digging this one, ANET.
So we had what's the earnings aftermarket today? Okay, so they haven't reported yet.
You,
Um, was
what
this
else is on the docket for the rest of the week? There was something else
there's a
so
bunch of stuff.
okay, AMD, Supermicro. What's really so what's going to be interesting today is if you look out here to the CNBC news, where was it? Basically, Trump said he's going to put semi tariffs back. So I'm curious to see what they will say. All these chip companies that are about to report, because that was pretty bad timing for all these chip companies. At least wait till after they've said, oh yeah, our guidance is going to be good this year. Anyways, I can't find it, but he did say it. I promise you, I'm not lying.
no attention to what Trump says anymore.
Well,
You don't know what he's going to say, so you could just got to react to it. You can't plan it or predict it. The guy's a loose cannon with his lips.
no, but it does have an effect, right? Because like SOXL is there like a semiconductor non-leverage share out a non-leverage ETF out there?
Yeah, US, you got SOXX. I think
SOXL.
it is.
That's the
So semis are down pretty hard today. Um, and we have, of course, right, we have big earnings coming out soon.
Lil Mickey D's.
We got, yeah, McDowell will be interesting. So we have like two sides of the economy basically in the next like 24 hours. We have, well, we got we got AMD, Supermicro, the growth. We got the McDonald's, sort of
Elf,
the what?
Elf,
Yeah, health.
Elf Cosmetics, ELF. I read
Elf.
Oh,
ELF.
Elf. Yeah, we do also have some health companies. Elf.
I
Yeah.
read an article, and I do not mean to offend anybody listening in, but I read an article that said women would rather give up food than lipstick
I believe
as
it.
far as their budgets go. So, look at this. That's a real deal right there. That's good
Yeah.
volatility.
Yeah. Yeah, that's dipping below. What do we got? Earnings win tomorrow
Tuesday.
after market. So, yeah, interesting.
Yeah,
Mickey
Ulta is
P.
getting close to a breakout here, so
Yeah.
Elf is kind of concentrated in one brand, but Ulta, they sell across many, many different
Yeah,
companies.
for retail,
Yeah.
right?
Ulta's been the big winner. Look at that trend, man. That's pretty
Wow,
cool.
they're still kind of off their all-time highs.
Yeah, just a little bit, but getting close to breakout.
Yeah, nice.
I used to trade that thing all the time before I really realized what they did. I normally don't like to know what the company does because then I'll just talk myself out of it. I just would rather go with the trend and not read anything about it.
Yeah, you can get too much information overload.
Yeah.
Is that a good Fibonacci line there, Jeffrey?
I mean, it's fair.
Yeah. Would you go from the bigger breakout from the all-time highs?
This is the one I was actually looking at when I commented we're about to break out is, looking at the big swing there down to the
What's
lows.
Fibonacci?
Jack, we're going to talk more about that starting next week, man.
Okay.
Yeah, so you see here we got the about to be in the go above
As soon as
70.
we get above, so if we can clear that gap down we did back there in early 24, that kind of opens the door for that extension on up there, possibly 625, maybe even 674. So we're just grinding the top of that gap down right now. And if we can pop above it, game on.
Where we have to get looks like we're right.
Right at the top, we're grinding the top of it. So
What's the short interest on this bad boy?
I don't have that. I could tell you, but I don't have that platform up here on this studio computer. I'd have
Yeah, I'm
to,
not sure either.
That could be a thing here.
if you give me a minute, I can log into Ortex and
I
find
think we
out.
can just let me see if can we just like search it.
You can try, but I got Ortex if I can log in here. See if Google will let me log in.
Let's
It's
see.
easier for me just to ask you guys than to have my own site. So
Ooh, 67% short volume ratio.
see, so folks at home, that's an indication people think the stock is going to go down, and so they finance their short position, let's say at 500. Now, if the stock goes down from 500, they're making money. But if the stock goes up to 512 or 515, they have to short some more to bring up their average short cost. That's called financing your short. And at some point, as it gets higher, you can't do it. So if there's a short squeeze on this one, everybody that's short is going to have to rush back in and buy the stock or some calls to hedge that position. So sometimes you get a big short position, it can really lead to a really nice pop in the stock price.
Yeah, I'm showing
So 308,
4%. I'm showing 4% of free float right now
yeah,
on the live.
4.12. If you look at the screen, folks, you can see it 308,000, 308,233% increase in short interest. So we're getting a squeeze maybe coming up.
I would love it.
Man, you don't really see, man, squeezes. I guess you can get them on these expensive ass stocks, but man,
You can. The institutions, there's a lot of people don't realize how many like prop trading firms out there, how many like not famous hedge funds out there where they're trying to make markets and short and do all kind of stuff. A huge market in that, and you don't hear about that too much. But when you get these stocks close to new 52-week highs, there's a lack of overhead supply. So that kind of, in some cases, can add a little fuel to the fire. And if you add in a big short position on top of that, you got a real recipe for some fire. This isn't a big enough short position though to worry about it.
Yeah, these
4%.
big stocks like this,
But
big
it is
stocks like this, they don't get traded a lot. Like these big groups, Vanguard's the top holder with 11, almost 12% of the shares, and then BlackRock has about almost 9% of the shares, and they just sit on it. They don't trade it. They're not in and out. Like they might, on their quarterly rebalance or whatever, they may add more position or take away depending on retirement count balances and stuff like that. But most of the time they just sit on it. They're not trading. So that takes those shares out of the supply. And that's, kind of what Jack's alluding to is like when the shares get kind of on the skinny, especially near 52-week highs, there's not much supply that fuel in the fire for going higher.
Yeah. Yeah, you compare that with the breakout, compare that with, I just want to see. I mean, you couple that with the breakout rather. So yeah, yeah. Man, I feel like based on the volume profile, we get above 529. Like I know this, if you break above the Fibonacci, that's good. If we break above this, there's really not much there to support it until we get to 552. So it could jump really quick.
So I see a request in the chat about a earnings play. The one I took this week was Akame, AKAM, Alpha Kilo Alpha Mike. I sold the 65 put for this Friday, which is down below support.
You know,
That's my play.
any reason?
I think it's beat down and it's an internet stock. Like this is the ultimate cloud company, if you will. So much of the internet runs on this stock and we just don't even hear about it ever. And
Backbone.
backbone stuff right here. And they just print money constantly, even though the stock looks a little beat down. I feel like it's overly beat down. We could dip into the 50s briefly if earnings are really bad, but look at the
You're trying
earnings
to buy it.
history. They don't, I mean, they just keep making money. And so I'm going for 65. I think it's overly, little, the market's pricing in, bad. So they just have to do less bad than the puts are expecting, and it prints. So
OKLO's on Monday. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
yeah, the earnings, if you do it off of the expected move right now, it's 68 is the kind of the downside based on at the money earnings. You just take those at the money puts and calls, sell both of them. That gives you the expected range. You subtract the expected range off the current price. 68 is kind of the downside, and then the upside roughly 80. And so I'm playing 65, which is below the expected move.
You're selling that?
Yep, selling that put.
Yep. So he's trying to get it assigned, Faith. So just hey, if you don't want to buy Akamai, take caution because if he is above any support, so I mean, if you didn't want to get assigned, you might want to go to 57, right? But
Yeah, I mean,
if you're trying to pick this up.
The premium does get kind of thin down there, so I'm only playing out to Friday. Earnings comes out Thursday evening, so you don't have much time to make any adjustment. You're either going to take the shares or it's going to work.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at IBIT. I got a naked put at 65 on that one as well.
Yeah, I was looking at we might get a dip into the 63 area.
I know.
And I was telling people this morning to sell a 61 if we get that dip into 63 or a 62, 61. So
There's some unusual put volume coming in on IBIT 62.
people listening to me.
out for August 29th, which is kind of far away. Yeah.
What's a 65 put? What's the price? What can you get for a 65 put today?
What expiration?
Go out a week, 2 weeks.
15th, 65 puts. Well, 65 put would be in the money, so it's a 182.
Is that 182?
Yeah.
So if you had it assigned to you at 65, your cost would be 65 minus 182.
Yeah. So
you don't get it. You don't get it.
66.20.
You take the money and run. If you go out a little more, what's something in like September?
60, as you said, 65, 355.
All right, now we're talking 355. That's some spendable money. That's $355 per contract. And again, if you got it put to you at 65, you take 65 minus 3, whatever. That's your cost. That's that trade. If you ran that through the calculator, that'd be a real
61.45 would basically be where you wouldn't want it to go down below. if you want to break even, or
It's a good stock to trade. No earnings, no board of directors, no dividends, no buybacks, just pure speculation. Do you think?
Pure human emotions.
animal spirits.
Yeah.
The
Do you
animal
think the
spirits.
greater fool theory applies to IBIT?
The what?
The greater fool theory, in that the only reason you would buy it is because there will be a greater fool down the road that'll pay more for it.
I feel like that's what crypto is. So probably.
All crypto's greater fool theory.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
That's gold for you too. I mean, what are you gonna do with gold?
Yeah, Warren Buffett said he hated crypto because it can't write you a check. It can't pay you a dividend.
Yeah.
That's gold too, right there. I mean, gold, same boat. Platinum, same boat. I mean,
Over. How is IBIT done compared to gold?
Let's look.
it depends on your time frame.
I mean, Bitcoin is. I'm pretty sure Bitcoin has outperformed gold for.
Gold's outperformed the market, hasn't it?
Gold has outperformed them. Yeah. And especially if you adjust for inflation, I think. What is it pure outperformance or inflation adjusted outperformance? I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's crazy. I hate gold. I don't like it.
If we just look year to date, gold is actually outperforming Bitcoin right now.
Yeah.
But if
Oh,
we go
yeah.
back,
IBIT.
if you go back to the lows of Bitcoin, Bitcoin is hugely outperforming gold though.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, you got to pay attention to the cycles in Bitcoin. Like you can't just jump in mid-cycle and expect to outperform something else. So there are seasons to crypto you got to pay attention to. We are about to end the summer season in crypto. It'll go into a crypto winter season that'll probably last anywhere from 9 to 18 months, where crypto outperforms everything to the downside, and then we'll come back into a more favorable period sometime starting probably mid to late 2027.
Yeah. It does look like Bitcoin's decently outperformed gold if I can get my comparator to work. But
see, with IBIT, you can cash flow that little sucker where you can't do that.
yeah. Hey, you could cash flow IBIT and then use it to buy crypto.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that though.
You just cash flow to get cash. You don't cash flow to get crypto.
I don't get cash flow to lose it.
You're not gonna cash flow into Fartcoin, dude? What are you doing?
Cash flow and just the cash flow. Mrs. Jack is up here at the cabin for a while, and now I got the Visa card out, and it was smoking hot the other day.
Yeah, I know the feeling.
Cash flow for regular cash flow bill payment reasons.
Cash flow for that Elf Beauty check, bill.
Yeah. I wonder. This is a pretty. I wonder what. Are there any juicy? Does Elf have any juicy premium?
It can.
Doesn't have a trend.
Ooh, it does actually. What we got? So we got some. Actually, this is pretty juicy. Actually, $90, which would be basically before the breakout. You can get 269 going out to September. Let's see what is closer. What'd I say? $90.
So Brett asked a good question. If they just authorized the US stablecoin, why are the coins going to go down? Well, stablecoin wouldn't go down. It would be
stablecoin stays pinned to the dollar.
dollar. So it doesn't move at all. It's like having a dollar in crypto rather than having a dollar in dollars. But it has nothing to do with stocks going up or down. Stable coins are going to be stable.
Yeah.
The other coins that haven't pegged anything to anything are just complete speculation. And I'll tell you, I can't even wrap my mind around how much capital is in all crypto. Would you happen to know that, Jeffrey? It's
15
1 second.
trillion or something.
No,
Yeah.
it's not that much. Not that much. It's at 3.85 trillion today, down just a little bit.
And that's like all that just shows you the appetite for speculation.
Yeah.
That's we're talking almost $4 trillion. So, it's like 20% of the value of all the gold in the world is in crypto right now.
Ard is asking, why are they naming Fartcoin? Ard, I think you're getting to the core of the matter. Why $4 trillion and what? What are we talking about? I know, look, I used to use Bitcoin. I was a Bitcoin early adopter. You can say I was using it in like 2011. I I don't know what I don't I don't know. I don't know what the use case is for, right?
Now,
I know what they say the use case is for. I understand what they say the use case is for. I just don't really know if I really believe the use case for it, that it's any better than what we have, or if it actually matters at all. So, you know what I know, I can tell you what it is, right? It's like peer to peer, lack of a middleman, lending, block stake, proof of work. All this, yeah, I know, I get it, right? But what does that mean in real terms? How does it actually improve things? I don't really know
so
what it does. Yeah,
is
I know statement
there's
payments using Lightning Network, low cost, fast feed. I know those are all buzzwords. I get it. Yes, but right?
Lightning Coin's illiquid, or Lightning Network is illiquid. It doesn't have very much Bitcoin tied up in it. Now, using Bitcoin for payment is completely different than stable coins. And I was looking at, interesting over the weekend, I was looking at an international broker that, this is a brokerage that does Forex and futures and things like this and does it internationally, plays in all the different markets. And their primary, um, like way to get in money from a client and pay out money to clients, they didn't really have any credit cards. They didn't have any bank connections. They did it all in crypto. Like you could put USDC, USDT, you could put Bitcoin and Ethereum, Solana, XRP. You could put all these in it, and they would pay you out in it too. But they would transact and they would pull it into the markets and let you do whatever pairs you wanted to trade. I thought it was very fascinating that they had moved to this crypto where they didn't have to pay credit card fees and stuff like that to bring in and throw out money. So that particular use case, an international company that doesn't want to worry about Forex exchange and stuff like that, it's a use case, but it's more of a use case on like stable coins where the US dollar is always the US dollar. And things like Bitcoin, they got to keep track of the exchange rate and stuff like that. So
Well, if an international company like Amazon had a stable coin of its own,
yeah,
would
they would just eliminate any Forex arbitrage that they would have to do,
and
basically.
credit card fees. It'd be no credit card fees for the customer. If Amazon had its own stable coin, customers would save millions and millions and millions. But again, no electricity, no Bitcoin.
Yeah, and so look. I mean, look what OKLO is doing, right? I mean, to this point, we talk about electricity. These companies. I'm curious to see what OKLO does. It'll probably be nothing or mixed, but because they're not really a real company yet. I mean, they hit all of zero revenue
The
last
other one that is a real company, SRM or
SMR.
That's some more.
Yeah, they're
the revenue look like?
yeah, 10 million. Oh no, wait, 13 million. Actually, they did. Wow, they really crushed earnings last quarter. Wow.
There are plumbing companies that make more than that.
That's what I always say. Some of these, look, ASTS is another one that's just so traded, so in the news. But I mean, look at it. Wow, $718,000 of revenue, man. Yeah, that's like Jack said. Local plumbing companies.
I need to go public.
Yeah, dude. You and cash flow CFA. That'll be your ticker. We're going to be talking about that later as well. In a little bit. So but going back to OKLO, man, like we look at that energy, folks. In the live, if you're a Wealth Pin Pro subscriber, you remember 2 years ago we recommended OKLO down here. I mean, it's at 8. I think it was at 830, 850. It was like up. I don't even know how much. What is that? 1,000%, basically.
Power is the whole issue though with AI,
Right, which is why these companies, they might not have any rev. These are all like early stage, but nuclear is going to be it, dude. Nuclear is going to crush.
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole problem with EVs and all this stuff too, is like we got out of the power. Like the power system's just lacking for all the things we want to push into. Humanoid robots, they're going to need power. AI, going to need power. Robot cars gonna need power. Like power is the limiting factor, and the only real solution out there is either small modular reactors or micro reactors. That's the only real widespread, wide scale solution to this problem we have right now. Elon harping on solar and battery storage, but that's not infinitely scalable right now. There's a lot of breakthroughs that need to happen there. Whereas we could be rolling out this SMR technology right now if we were wanting to.
Yeah.
And that's
Jeffrey,
the other place. The bottleneck is in power. Zuckerberg could say, I want to spend $750 billion. That doesn't mean he can buy everything he wants to buy. He can't buy the chips he wants to buy. He can't buy the power. It doesn't exist, right? You can't buy that many chips. You can't buy that much power right now. So when you look at these CapEx things, we're going to spend all this money. That's good, but you can't buy what you want to buy. And power is going to be the bottleneck here until they can roll out better nuclear stuff. And nuclear power had just such a bad PR rep. The oil industry killed nuclear back in the day and just had all the lobbyists saying how dangerous this is. It's going to kill everybody, and then you have a couple of bad scenarios and they look like they were right. So like nuclear has been dead for a long time, but it's the future.
for you, Jeffrey, you look like a science fiction guy. You like science fiction?
I mean, I'm all over the place.
So, Jack too. You ever heard of the Kardashev scale?
Oh yeah.
So so for everybody who doesn't, the Kardashev scale it's not really a science fiction. It's a science fiction concept. It was actually proposed by a Russian physicist, but basically there's different types of there's three stages. There's three types of stages of civilization. One, we're not even at one yet.
Yeah.
So type one is you harness, all the energy available on a planet. That's, wind, solar, geothermal. We haven't actually maximized that. Now, stage two would be you actually harness the sun, right?
All the power available in this, or all the energy available in a sun or star.
Solar system, right? Yeah. And then, type three is when you're harnessing basically the power of like the black hole at the center. So we're far away from that, but we're not even to stage one yet. But the whole point is you can't have it. And you look at history, it's all energy input. And speaking about batteries, I don't know if you guys ever traded this. Remember QuantumScape back in the day? I mean, they were supposed to have the most like brand spanking efficient battery that would just allow electricity to be charged instantaneously and hold forever.
Yeah.
It would fix all the EV problems, and they were a huge meme stock, and not even a meme stock. I mean, really, they were a hugely popular stock.
Dry cell technology right there. You could puncture it and it wouldn't catch on fire. And
yeah. And then look at this, man. Listen, it's nothing.
Did.
Almost got delisted. So this thing is those battery tech, it is energy. Like we're saying, it's all energy. SMR stock, I like. Look, I think SMR is, like Jack was saying, actually has some revenue. So I would say, now this is SMR is cheaper than OKLO.
But SMR has a fully ready deal. They've passed their application process.
Yeah.
OKLO hasn't even come close to, I don't even think their application is finished.
Look at that.
Yeah.
EWXT. I didn't mean to interrupt you. This is an entrenched company, man. And talking about energy though, they're jumping. Look at that.
Well, one in this industry that nobody thinks about is WAB, Westinghouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Rolls-Royce too actually produces small modular reactors. You know that?
Yep.
So.
And WAB is on a pullback right now, looking for it to hold support, and it could take another leg higher. So these guys actually have a micro modular reactor the size of a shipping container that they can roll out that needs no external inputs. Wow. And it's a Stirling engine type thing. And you just bring them in, as many containers as you need to provide the power. I've commonly held that we should be rolling these out like everywhere we have a substation and just provide local power, because they use the same technology that they put in US submarines. And in all the years we've had nuclear submarines, we've not had a single accident
Bro,
where a meltdown.
I've said the same thing. I've said, it's like, dude, we have, like, people are like, oh man, 3 Mile Island, Chernobyl. It's like, we have 19, the technology is so good. We have 19-year-olds who are able to manage these.
Operate these things. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, like, it's okay. Oh,
So this is the solution. Like, I don't know why we don't adopt it, but you know, these kind of things where there's no, and when one of these runs its course, you just ship it back to the factory and Westinghouse takes care of it. You bring in a new one and plug it in and, you know, keep rolling. So we have the solution. We're just not doing it.
yeah, yeah. No, totally. Jack, what do you think? Rolls Royce? You got it. You ever
Mess
done
around with stocks like $14. I just don't.
that?
I kept a trade journal for the longest time in 2020 and 99. And I looked at what did all my good trades have in common? And what were the common threads from all of these after a year of trading? I took all the confirms down to a CPA and I had them provide a compilation report that showed what the return was for the year. And then I looked through all the stocks. What were the good ones? What do they have in common? And what do my not good ones have in common? And every time I traded stuff under $15, I didn't have nearly as much luck. So
well,
Interesting.
them off.
you know why is the funds don't usually play in stocks under $20. You know, the big
25 is my new limit.
Yeah.
I need that institutional guy to light the fire after I get in. And
Right. Well, that's what
exactly.
moves the companies. You know, you start getting the institutional money in, they're lax to reposition themselves, like we were talking about earlier, right? So it's, you know,
No, I'm not always, I can't say that's 100% of the time. I bought Rigetti at $3.33 and sold it at 12. But that was just every now and then, like 5% of my 2 to 5% of my capital, I'll just take flyers. And when that thing was rolling, not now, not since that's come back down, but when it was on the way up, that's the only time uh, I bought Rigetti or I bought anything under 25 in a long, long time. Well, Archer Aviation and some of those, but
what do you think about this one actually with this Fibonacci sequence there?
I don't know what Fibonacci is, but I'm out of that dog.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. What do you think, Jeffrey? Is that, do we got a nice little support zone here?
I mean, you know, it's possible. I've not been big into as I've said, I'm not big into the quantum stuff yet. I still think it's got a ways to go. I was reading the IBM roadmap over the weekend, and they're not even thinking it's like really practical for another 10 to 15 years, like
Yeah.
really practical.
Yeah.
And they still don't, even IBM admits they don't have an algorithm that they've proved can run faster on quantum computers yet because they don't have the computers.
To do it. Yeah, it's all model. It's all like almost like AI projection or future modeling.
You read the threat of quantum computing, the threat that it poses to Bitcoin and the blockchain. But I don't even see that happening. That looks like a myth for right now.
Yeah, it's one of those
I
things.
think
I've been
I think AI is the bigger threat there than right now than quantum as far as breaking encryption on AI. I mean, on blockchains. You know, using AI to break encryption. I think that's the bigger threat right now because maybe there's a loophole we don't understand in the way we've done encryption, and that, you know, super intelligence can all of a sudden figure it out.
There has to be because Satoshi Nakamoto, he no AI back when he was playing around with this thing. Or maybe that was the CIA. I still
yeah.
Bitcoin, Jeffrey.
I mean, who has those diamond hands to never sell, man? Satoshi has never sold.
Yeah, it took that guy out.
I know. Someone did, or
I think he had it on one of those hard drives, and then he got buried with it. So that what he owns isn't coming back out into circulation.
I did see that dude in England. Do you remember that story? The guy who he had all of his Bitcoin on like a flat thumb drive, and he's been searching, he threw it away. He's been searching the garbage piles, the junkyards for 10 years. He finally gave up the search last week. So all right.
He
So
didn't get access. The government didn't want him digging around through all that junk.
Yeah.
And
Hey, you know, you deserve to lose it if you're, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Survival of the fittest mentally too. You don't go playing around putting that thing on a hard drive and then throwing it away.
No.
How
Yeah.
does he wake up every morning not thinking like,
Whew.
man, you know, I don't know,
That'd be a hard one,
himself
man.
for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
you know that happened to one of the guys in the company that works in the background, Adam. He lost a big chunk of Bitcoin losing a hard drive.
Oh, really? Shoot.
Harsh, man. That is harsh. I don't know how I'd ever get that out of my mind.
Yeah, that's opportunity cost. Um, is that guy homeless, Art? Interesting. I thought he was at least employed, but man, just keeps on stacking on the losses there. That's a shame.
Harsh kidding.
Oh, okay. That's good. At least he's not homeless. That would suck. All right, folks. So I want to go through here. Just want to show. Does anybody want to see some unusual options flows that we've been seeing on this app scanner thing I built? Because do you want to see that? We only have a few minutes here, so that or the premium stocks from the premium scanner. Might be interesting to talk about premium. Progressive art. I guess we can talk about progressive. Why you like progressive, dude?
Let's see a few unusual options. I want to see the thing you built. After
Okay.
you show
Yeah,
progressive,
Yeah.
I want to see what you came up with.
yeah,
Yeah.
progressive's kind of beat down.
Yeah, I think we looked at that last like 2 weeks ago, Art. I don't think anything's changed with progressive.
Yeah, nothing.
All right, folks, let's look. Okay, so hey, we got like 150% winner overnight on OKLO. Did anybody get on that trade just by
Time out here. Tell me how you built this thing.
uh
What is it? What is it?
so
Where's-
this is an unusual options flow scanner. Hooked it up to an API. I built an app. This is just a model of the app, what it would look like on an iPhone. I built it in Xcode, and it's just a mock-up of what it would look like if it's deployed to a phone.
Wow.
But basically, it shows me like every couple seconds, different options orders, and you can it has like little analytics tabs. So you can see some of the top symbols that are coming in. You can see the average volume spike, how many flows, how much premium's been traded, what the call put ratio is, and just a general like overview of the days to expiration. And then you have these different filters. I use these are what I use for these. But you can change it to whatever you want, really. I found these work the best. And then yeah, so it just updates it in real time. And basically what I'm looking for basically three or more orders coming in on different stocks. So let's just scroll through here and see if we got any. So we got some Carvana. Oh, so CELH. I know you like that one, Jeffrey. I thought about that because I actually
Yeah,
opened a position. I actually opened a put for this Friday on it. We'll see how that plays out.
it still needs a retrace, I feel like, before I'm getting back involved. So
Okay.
it
All right.
definitely
Cool.
definitely flew kind of high toward the sun and a little far, a little fast. I'm kind of waiting on it to come back down to little support zone before before I mess with it again. So, but I do like it, long term bullish.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's compelling. So Hims, we should have held. We got out last Friday with a 30%, 20% or something gain on Hims, but we would have crushed earnings. Let's look. So I'm seeing some Carvana stuff. So then if you see, basically what you can do is you just check. So we see some Carvana. Stupid iPhone automatic. Not okay. So this is interesting because we have a 300. I probably wouldn't take this one. If we had another 300 put for Carvana on August 29th, I might take it. It's also kind of far away. I don't know. Their earnings might be around then too. Um, but yeah, that's not a good one. I think I saw App. Ooh,
App loving.
yeah. Okay, so App 11 has earnings. When do they have earnings? They got it soon, I'm pretty sure. Let's see.
Thursday, I think.
Um,
It's either Wednesday or Thursday. Let's see.
let's look.
Thought I saw it.
Okay.
Yeah. So Wednesday after the close.
Ooh, Wednesday after the close. Okay, so we have some calls coming in. So what I've been trying to do is just let's see how these. So 480 apps at 384. Wow. Check this chart out, man. This is crazy. So these calls are coming in for 480, which seems, I mean,
That's way up there.
it's, I mean, yeah, I mean, they'll still, I mean, if it does have a big jump up to here, you'll probably still make money on them, but man, that's way out of the money.
I would think somebody would be selling those maybe.
I agree.
Well, this is all on the buy side. What's that? What am I looking at?
Surprised you don't have anything on Tesla. Always.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no unusual flows, man. I think, you know what I think? Tesla never pops up. I think it's because there's always unusual flows on Tesla. Nothing is out of the ordinary on Tesla. There's like so much crap going on all the time.
That
The
thing is
flow, like it's
fine.
like the number, it's usually either number one or number two as far as option flows go every day.
Yeah, what's number one? Nvidia?
SPY, funny enough, as what flip flops with Tesla.
That makes
Let me
sense.
let me check it out real quick, see what today is. I use Market Chameleon for this on the option flow scanner.
I'm trying to see if we can open a trade that I see something cool for everyone that we can all give a trade to. Ooh, GPRE. What's that? That's not GoPro, right? Green Plains. I don't know what that is. Yeah.
Funny enough, for today, Hims has actually got the number one option flows.
Oh yeah. Well, look. I mean, dude, Hims did not deal well on earnings. This
They've
is
got
a
almost
hard.
200,000 option contracts flying today.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
story. It's
We would
the
have
story.
I think we
Oh,
were
no,
at,
no, excuse me. That's just on one side. It's got almost 400,000 options flowing today.
what's the volume on it?
Yeah, the volume 380,574 for both sides.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's a big story stock. You know, they making prescriptions without a real doctor, and then they've got supply issues with their. What did they have a problem with Novo Nordisk
Yeah,
Yeah.
out or Novo backed out when they started to do their own compounding?
basically. What's the deal with that, Jeffrey? I actually don't. I mean, I saw that they were like, I don't know the details, honestly. I was just like, oh, Novo's
Yeah,
probably doing some
we went
sketch.
through that last week, and it's just when the emergency when there was a shortage of Wegovy and Ozempic and all the GLP-1 class drugs, between Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk, they couldn't produce enough to fill all the prescriptions. So in those cases where there's not enough out there, the FDA has this emergency shortage provision where patents aren't enforced in those shortage times, and FDA put it on a shortage list, and companies like Hims and there's a couple other ones that started compounding and producing these, and Hims actually has like virtual doctors you can go see. You never see anybody. You never actually do a blood test, and they just prescribe it to you and send it to you in the mail, and so then it came off that emergency shortage list for the FDA, and all of a sudden they had to stop. So Hims scrambled. That was one of the big pullbacks in their chart. Hims scrambled and cut a deal with NVO to be able to keep selling that drug. But some of the fine details, NVO wanted them to buy from them, not compound their own, and they kept compounding their own and doing the virtual visit thing, and NVO was like, wait a minute, you're not playing the game that we agreed to. We're going to cut this deal off, and so that's kind of the where we're at right now. It's a big story stock. They're trying to get around the patents and stuff like that, keep providing the GLP-1 drugs. They also do, little blue pills, little yellow pills, little, help you out in the bedroom pills, and
Pills
I
for
don't
everything.
know, pills for everything. And it's all virtual. You don't ever go see a doctor, so you just
That's
pop
the
on,
problem.
do a little Zoom meeting with a doctor, and then it comes in the mail the next day or whatever.
That's the thing. I can't believe that they're doing that. I can only see this ending really bad. Somebody, you're not talking to a doctor and you're getting weight loss drugs. That just, and then it's going to open up a whole can of worms where people are going to come back and say, hey, you sent me these pills without a real doctor, so I see a lot of problems going down the road with making your own pills.
Yeah, potential lawsuit, definitely.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Without seeing a doctor. That's the craziest part, you know?
Yeah, I mean ostensibly, yeah, you see a doctor, but I think it's basically just a, what do you want? Here's a script for it. It's not really a exam. They're not going to say no.
We're not going to say no. All we need is your age and your address, and we'll give you whatever you want.
Yeah. Actually, so if we're talking about hymns, look at all these hymns, unusual flows coming in today. I mean, this is pretty crazy. So we're not going to trade this, but you can see on this on the scanner here, like, I mean, you have 62, 72, 62, 60 calls. You have some puts. So we have some, yeah. So this is all over the place. It does look like the call skew is pretty much is a good bit higher than the put skew. But yeah, I mean, what is Hims at? Hims is trading at $57. So these calls are from this week at 65. Ah, man. So you're going to be above that multiple resistance line. I mean, if it increases, you'll still, it has to increase a little bit. We don't necessarily need it to hit that, but
It
probably
just takes a couple of people having a problem and then a giant class action lawsuit and then this one's screwed.
yeah. So let's Art, are you asking about this Hims trade? If it's a long shot trade, I don't know if I want to take this one. Let's see what the percentage change on these calls are today.
It's been a volatile move today. It dropped initially on earnings and then coming back was ripping back earlier. I haven't
Well,
looked at
Jack,
it.
you were talking about all these gaps, right? It's like play the gaps, man. You know?
Got to be pretty good sharpshooter to play the gaps. It's easy just to play.
Yeah.
Get on and
It
all.
looks like it filled that gap and then dropping back down. Probably going to
Yeah.
go back on down to 40, low 40s is my guess.
You got to be nimble played in gaps. It's way easier to just jump on an already moving train when you find
Yeah.
a stock in a trend. Just buy it at the market, ride it up, and you're good to go. Speaking of being good to go, we got a really cool way to play Tesla.
Absolutely. We didn't even get to the premium stuff, but dudes and dudettes. But so it's really cool. That's what I've been doing. I've just been playing these short-term options flows, trying to get those. I've also been selling premium, listening to Jack, getting better at it every day. So Jack actually created something really cool, and it's all about premium. It's all about getting those yields, getting those weekly income spikes, right? So let's get into how to do that.